Have you ever stood up from a chair and felt just a little bit wobbly? Or maybe you've reached for something on a shelf and felt unsteady for just a moment. If you've ever had that feeling where your body just doesn't respond quite as quickly as it used to, I want you to know something important. You're not imagining it, and you're definitely not alone. Here's what's really happening. Most people think balance comes from strong legs, and while leg strength matters, the truth is that about 70% of your balance is controlled by something completely different. It's controlled by a system called proprioception. Think of it like your body's internal GPS. It's a network of tiny sensors in your feet, your ankles, your joints, constantly sending signals to your brain, telling it exactly where your body is in space. When you were younger, this system worked perfectly. You could walk, turn, bend down, all without even thinking about it. But here's what happens as we age, especially if we've been less active. Those sensors start to go quiet. It's like your GPS signal is fading. And when your brain stops getting clear information from your feet and joints, every movement feels uncertain. That's when you start to hesitate before stepping off a curb, or you grip the handrail a little tighter, or you avoid walking on uneven ground. But here's the incredible part, and this is backed by research from Johns Hopkins and the National Institutes of Health. You can wake those sensors back up, not in weeks or months, in minutes. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how to do it with 3 simple exercises that you can do at home without any equipment in just a few minutes a day. These aren't random movements. These are specifically designed to reactivate your body's balance system from the ground up. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why they work so fast, and more importantly, you're going to feel the difference. Now, before we jump into the exercises, I need to explain something that most doctors won't tell you. Your balance doesn't actually come from your legs. I know that sounds strange, but stay with me. Your leg muscles are important, but they're only about 30% of the equation. The other 70% comes from something called your proprioceptive system. Think of proprioception as thousands of tiny motion sensors scattered throughout your body, especially in your feet and ankles. These sensors are constantly sending signals to your brain. They're telling your brain things like, "I'm shifting to the left," or "the ground just changed from hard to soft," or "I'm tilting forward." Your brain takes all of this information and makes instant adjustments to keep you balanced, all without you even thinking about it. When you were younger, this system was incredibly sharp. You could walk on uneven ground, turn quickly, reach for something while standing on one foot, and your body would just adjust automatically. But here's what happens with age, and especially with inactivity. Those sensors start to lose their sensitivity. It's like they're falling asleep. The signals they send to your brain get weaker and slower. And when your brain doesn't get clear, fast information, it can't make those instant adjustments anymore. That's when you feel unsteady. The medical term for this is sensory attenuation. Your nervous system is literally losing touch with your body. But here's the part that changes everything. Research from Johns Hopkins University and the National Institutes of Health has proven that you can retrain these sensors. You can wake them back up, and it doesn't take months of physical therapy or expensive equipment. It can happen in minutes with the right movements. That's exactly what these 3 exercises are designed to do. We're going to start at your feet, where the most important balance sensors are located. We're going to wake them up, retrain them, and then challenge them in a safe, controlled way. And by the end of this routine, your brain will be getting clearer signals and you'll feel more stable and confident. Let's get started. All right, our first exercise is called the seated toe raise. And this is going to wake up those sensors we just talked about, the ones in your feet and ankles. This is where balance truly starts. Here's how to do it. Sit up straight in a chair. Make sure you're sitting all the way back so your back is supported. Your feet should be hip-width apart, flat on the floor. Now, with your feet in this position, lift your toes and the balls of your feet off the floor so that you're balancing on your heels. You'll feel your shins working. Hold that position for just 1 or 2 seconds. Then, control the movement as you lower back down to the starting position. That's 1 rep. Do this for 10 to 15 repetitions. moving slowly and with control. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. This looks too simple. How is lifting my toes going to help my balance? Here's what's happening. When you lift your toes and balance on your heels, you're activating a muscle in the front of your shin called the tibialis anterior. This muscle is one of the most important muscles for balance, and it's also one of the most neglected. Every time you walk, especially on uneven ground, this muscle is working to keep your foot stable and prevent you from tripping. But if you've been inactive, this muscle gets weak, and those balance sensors in your ankle stop sending strong signals. This exercise does two things. First, it strengthens that tibialis anterior muscle, and second, and this is the key part, it wakes up those proprioceptive sensors in your ankle. When you lift your toes, your ankle has to stabilize in a very specific way, and that sends a strong, clear signal to your brain. You're literally retraining the communication between your feet and your brain. Now, if you want to make this easier, you can start with just 5 repetitions and work your way up. If you want more of a challenge, try holding the lifted position for 3 to 5 seconds before lowering back down. You can also try pausing at the top and gently moving your heels side to side while your toes stay lifted. This adds an extra balance challenge. Why does this work so fast? Because you're going directly to the source. You're not just strengthening muscles, you're reawakening the sensors that control balance, and your brain responds to this almost immediately. After just a few repetitions, you'll notice that your feet feel more awake, more responsive. That's your proprioception coming back online. Now that we've woken up your feet, let's move to the next step and teach your body how to shift weight safely. Excellent. Now that we've woken up those sensors in your feet, let's take it to the next level. Our second exercise is called weight shifting side to side with support. And this is going to teach your body how to control your center of gravity, which is absolutely critical for balance. Here's how to do it. Stand facing a worktop or a sturdy table. Place both hands flat on the worktop in front of you. Press your hands slightly against the worktop for support. Your feet should be hip-width apart. Now, keep your head and shoulders still while you move your hips to the side. Feel how your weight shifts from both feet over to one foot. Then return to the starting position and continue by moving your hips to the other side. The key is to feel your weight move from the center over to your right foot, back to center, over to your left foot, and back to center again. Let me walk you through this step by step. You're standing with both hands on the worktop. Your feet are hip-width apart. Now gently shift your hips to the right. Feel how most of your weight is now on your right foot, and your left foot becomes lighter. Your hands are there for support, but you're not leaning on them heavily. You're just using them for balance. Now shift back to center. Both feet are weighted equally again. Now shift your hips to the left. Most of your weight is on your left foot now. Back to center. Do this slowly for 10 to 15 repetitions on each side. Now here's what some of you might be feeling. If you have knee pain or hip discomfort, this movement might feel a little uncomfortable at first. If that's the case, make the movement smaller. You don't need to shift all the way over. Even a small shift is enough to retrain your balance system. The goal is not to see how far you can go. The goal is to feel your weight transferring and to stay in control. If you want to make this easier, keep more pressure on your hands. Use the table for more support. That's perfectly fine. If you want more of a challenge, lighten the pressure on your hands. Use them only for light balance, not for support. You can even try lifting one hand off the table for a moment while you shift your weight to the opposite side. Why does this work? Because balance isn't about standing still. It's about controlling movement. Every time you walk, you're shifting your weight from one foot to the other. Every time you reach for something, you're shifting your center of gravity. But if you've been avoiding movement because you feel unsteady, your brain has forgotten how to do this smoothly. This exercise retrains that skill. You're teaching your brain how to shift weight safely and with control. And that translates directly to real-world activities like walking, turning, and reaching. Now let's take it one step further with our final exercise. Perfect. You've woken up your feet. You've trained your weight shifting. Now we're going to put it all together with our third and final exercise, This one is called marching on the spot with support. And this is where we challenge your full body coordination and balance in a safe, controlled way. Here's how to do it. Stand up straight with a sturdy supporting surface close to one side. This could be a wall, a countertop, or the back of a sturdy chair. Hold on with your stronger side. Now, march on the spot. Lift your knees up as high as you comfortably can. Try to bring your knee up to about hip height if possible, but if that feels like too much, lift it as high as you can without losing your balance. The key is to maintain a steady rhythm and keep your upper body upright. Let me walk you through this. You're standing next to a wall or counter. Your right hand, or whichever is your stronger side, is holding on for support. Your feet are hip-width apart. Now, lift your right knee up toward your chest. Hold it there for just a moment. Lower it back down. Now lift your left knee. Lower it. Keep alternating like this. Right knee up, down, left knee up, down. Try to lift each knee 10 to 15 times, so that's 20 to 30 total marches. Now here's what's happening during this exercise. You're combining everything you've practiced so far. Your feet have to sense where they are. Your body has to shift weight from one leg to the other. Your core has to stay stable. And your brain has to coordinate all of this while you're moving. This is functional balance. This is the kind of balance you use every single day when you walk, when you climb stairs, when you move around your home. Some of you might be thinking, I can barely lift my knee at all. That's okay. Lift it as high as you can. Even a small lift is enough to get the benefit. The important part is the act of lifting and balancing on one leg, even if it's only for a second. If you need to hold on tightly with your hand, do it. That's what the support is there for. If you feel unsteady, slow down. There's no rush. This isn't about speed, it's about control. If you want to make this easier, keep a firm grip on the support and lift your knees just a few inches off the ground. If you want more of a challenge, lighten your grip on the support. You can even try letting go for a moment while you lift one knee, then grab back on before you switch legs. Or try lifting your knees higher, up toward your chest, and holding each lift for 2 to 3 seconds before lowering. Why does this work so fast? Because you're forcing your brain to do multiple things at once. You're integrating all of those balance systems we talked about earlier. Your proprioception is telling your brain where your standing leg is. Your vestibular system in your inner ear is helping you stay upright. Your muscles are firing in a coordinated pattern. And your brain is processing all of this in real time. This is called neuroplasticity. You're literally building new connections in your brain. And that's why you can feel the difference so quickly. Take a moment and appreciate what you just did. You didn't just do 3 random exercises. You systematically retrained your entire balance system. In the first exercise, you woke up those proprioceptive sensors in your feet and ankles. In the second exercise, you taught your body how to shift weight safely and with control. And in the third exercise, you challenged your full body coordination and proved to your brain that you can move with confidence. Now, I know some of you might have questions. What if I could only do a few repetitions? That's perfectly fine. You're still retraining the system. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is practice. Every time you do these movements, you're strengthening those neural pathways. What if I felt a little wobbly during the exercises? That's actually a good sign. It means your balance system is being challenged. That wobble is your brain learning how to adjust. Just make sure you have support nearby and move at your own pace. How often should you do this routine? I recommend doing these 3 exercises 3 to 4 times per week. That gives your nervous system time to adapt without overloading it. Consistency beats intensity. Doing this routine 3 times a week for 3 months will give you far better results than doing it every day for 2 weeks and then stopping. And here's the most important thing. Your balance is trainable at any age. It doesn't matter if you're 60, 70, 80, or beyond. Your brain has the ability to create new connections and adapt. That's called neuroplasticity. And these exercises are designed to tap into that ability. Now, I want to hear from you. Which exercise did you find most challenging? Was it the seated toe raises, the weight shifting, or the marching? Leave a comment below and let me know. And if you felt the difference, if you felt your balance system wake up, type "I trained my balance" in the comments. If you found this helpful, please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. In our next video, we're going to tackle something that many of you have asked about: how to strengthen your legs when you have knee pain. You're not going to want to miss that one. Thank you for trusting me with your health today. Remember, balance is trainable at any age. Keep practicing, stay consistent, and I'll see you in the next video.